there's a mode where it gives you one little square, and you can move that square around on the screen, and that will be the focal point. That's where it focuses, and it's beautiful because if, say, you're shooting some flowers or a person or whatever, you want it to focus on that spot. You don't want it to focus in the back and then have the person or whatever out of focus. So let me just check and see. Yes, that picture is there, even though there is no memory card of any kind in the camera at this time. And according to this, the battery says it should last for another 774 minutes. I'm sure if I actually had, if I had the flash working, I'm sure that would be less. Anyway, where did I put the lens cap? Oh yes, lens cap. Alright, I will put this down, turn it off. I don't mind putting it face down and make sure that that thing doesn't come off and the lens does not get hurt. So we are getting there on the family portrait. The other things I'm going to work on are lighting, of which at the moment I have some other lights, and I have some other lights back there. And I am not a lighting expert. I've also got some lights mounted up here, kind of those ones that you clamp on a desk and then you can move around. Anyway, I am going to work on that, and I will use some of the sneaky little skills that I've learned on movie and TV sets about hiding lights behind things and other things. And lights don't have to be blaringly bright. Hello, Penny. Penny, Penny, Penny. Hello. Penny, Penny. Where are you going, Penny? Penny, you could come and sit in this chair. You could. Anyway, lights don't have to be bright as can be. They can be subtle. Subtle. Anyway, we are getting there. We are. It has taken quite some time to get all the machines together.
That was easy.
And it hasn't been easy, especially the one from the garage. Anyway, I will have one last look around and make sure that we're done. The rest of it will come down to picking the frame, and I suspect it's going to be somewhat up, looking down, but I want to make sure I get everything in, and then I will, as they do once you pick a frame in photography or on TV things, try and make sure that the frame is full or pleasing in some way, so there isn't some glaring something that is not good. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to do all that. I know, Penny. I know. Penny, do you want to come up and say hello? You want to come up, Penny? No! Penny likes to talk, but she is not really a cuddle cat. But if I pet her head, she'll put up with me for a few precious seconds. Isn't that right, Penny? Isn't that right? Okay, we'll put you in the chair here. There you go. Okay. Thank you. All right. So, this is a Sony D. My mind goes blank. Oh, hello, Penny. DSC-R1 CMOS, 10.3 megapixels. Compared to today's cameras, it's not the latest, greatest anything, but they're still quite wonderful. And my daughter, who I gave one 2 years ago, because she had another camera, she said, but your pictures just look better and prettier and whatever. And I said, I don't know. Anyway, it also shoots in RAW. I've used this because I was shooting pictures behind the scenes on things at some point in time, and I have used this because it doesn't make the big click. It's not silent. Got to remember that. Don't lose that. It's not silent, but it's a lot quieter, which means it is not as obtrusive as a click, 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 click. And also there's a thing that a lot of stills people on shows shoot with, and I struggle for the name of it, but the camera is basically enclosed in a box. And it has a specific name that I used to know, that I do know, that I can't remember at this moment. Anyway, it'll come to me at some point. But with this, you really don't need it. And also, it's not like when they're getting set up, they hear this click, 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 click as you're doing stuff. Because I would shoot as they were setting up, and I would shoot typically like through rehearsals, but not when they were shooting. Unless I could do it from a great distance. Because, I mean, it does make the tiniest little click. And the camera also does make some sounds, but you can turn them off because they're not real. It's not like it's the sound of the mirror and the lens and everything doing its, or the shutter doing its thing. They're fake sounds, so you know that you've done something. Right, Penny? Right, Penny? Yes, Penny. So, anyway, if you do happen to see one of these Sony cameras at a garage sale or online, and they used to be, fairly expensive, but that was now, well, actually the date comes up as 2005. And I guess that must have been when they started. I seem to think I maybe had one before then, but maybe I didn't. But I got it very soon after it came out. I did. And it has been quite good. And one day, maybe I'll get back into shooting pictures more of the time and carrying a camera more of the time. But as I say, that's another painful story. It is. So, the other thing I will continue to do as I do things here before I shoot the final picture is I'll look for other things to put in here that are good accessories. For example, this is a t-shirt from the 2015 World of Commodore, put on by T-Pug. And it said on it, "Still living in an 8-bit world." And it's black, and there it is. I have not worn this. I probably could. I don't know. Let me check the size. Unfortunately, sizes seem to have shrunk over the years. Or perhaps I've got bigger. No, it's a 3XL. I probably could, but I really need something bigger. Anyway, I will continue to look for more things besides the computers and the, wait for it, 8010 modem to fill the frame. And of course, here's my Commodore, non-Commodore radio. Oh, and wait. And I guess these shouldn't really be in here because, of course, here we are with the pets, but these are Amiga socks, never worn. And yes, I have both. And there's the Commodore phone, which I had and had destroyed long ago and finally found a replacement. The other thing I've been doing is just out of view here is I found at a thrift store a thing that is a 8-track tape player. Now, unfortunately, it ate one 8-track, and I'm not sure if that was my fault or its fault. I will be very careful before I put another one in. Also has a cassette player. It's an AM/FM thing, and it also has a record player on the top. And the record player is it does 33s and 45s, and it has a speed adjust thing. And I don't know when this was last used, but when I put a 33 on, even if I cranked up the speed, it really wasn't fast enough. So if I put it on 45 and adjusted and tweaked around, it would sort of make the 33 sound okay, which makes it sound like the 45s aren't going to go. But anyway, what I did, just to give it a workout, and I've never had one of these apart before, is I did plug it in and leave the turntable spinning for about a day, hoping that if that might invigorate it, kind of like torture testing a 1541 disk drive. I don't know, but that is, of course, another story. So as I glance around here, I have more lights to tinker with and figure out. And also, I have behind me here, this 8296 will not be here for the picture. The keyboard is up there. It's going to be somewhere else. I had to push back because I didn't want to stack this and risk doing terrible things. And of course, there's a shirt from House of Computers. There's a couple of Commodore hockey jerseys, and it's funny. I found them in two different places at two different times, and they both. It was from the same league, the same whatever. And I'm not going to move them now to figure out which is what. Also, there's a bag from the world of Commodore, and other accessories. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to get the picture done soon, and then I can move forth and test things. Penny, don't mess with the camera. Penny, don't mess with the camera. Penny is rubbing her head on the camera. Oh, you know what else? I just glanced at this camera. Underneath the viewfinder, there's a little thing that you can go back and forth. Now, my eyes have changed over the years, and there's a little thing under the bottom that you can adjust for different levels of eyesight things. I haven't checked it to see if I would be okay with it now if I were to adjust it one way or the other, or if I still need to use reading glasses. Indeed, getting old, well, it's something that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do, but it has its moments. Right, Penny? Yes. Yes, indeed. So, I think that's about it for now. So, I will continue to make sure I've got everything here and set up the frame and set up and everything, because this picture, I would think that someday, eventually, and not to be morbid or anything, but I have had pictures that I took over the years when I was taking lots of pictures that have ended up on the programs or on postings of stuff about someone when they are dearly departed. And who knows, maybe this picture will eventually adorn such a program or posting or something when I have left this world. Perhaps. Or there may be something else. I don't know. We'll see. But pictures are important, photography is important, videos are important. History. There was a fellow, Moses Zeimer, and he, of course, founded City TV in Toronto, which was kind of this rebel station. Eventually, of course, it was bought by CTV, and he's gone off to do other things. And of course, he's got tons of money, and now, he can do whatever he wants. But a teacher I knew at my school, who unfortunately has left us, shared a studio with his wife, and as Moses said, if you don't record it, it didn't happen. And I took that to heart and have done my best to record many things and many people and such over the years, and events and all kinds of things. And there are many, many stories, but certainly having sometimes indeed evidence that somebody was somewhere when people say that they were there, even though they say that they weren't there, is a good thing. Anyway, but now, of course, everybody is a photographer because everyone has a phone that has a camera. And indeed, the cameras in the phones are getting better and better and better and better and better. They are. And nobody thinks twice, like, when the Queen was doing her final thing, all you saw, funny, I don't think a lot of people actually saw it going by. They saw it on their phone. But then, of course, they have the video. Yes. So, photography is good. If you're always carrying a camera or a phone and you see something interesting, it's a good time to say, hey, that's interesting, and shoot it. It is. This camera, with its wide angle, would be good for landscapes and things and stuff, and of course computers. Normally, I like to zoom in on things, and I don't really have the vastest capacity of zoom lenses. But it is handy sometimes to get things, once again, of a security nature, like the license plate of a car, or a good shot of somebody who is maybe suspicious. Perhaps. But also, birds, flowers, things, just anything. Anything is a potential subject. And as I always tell people, if you're trying to shoot something, you think it's going to be really good, but for whatever reason you just say, this isn't going to work, just walk away, find something else to shoot. Or somebody is screaming, "Don't take a picture of my car." Okay. Walk away, walk away, walk away. Anyway, also, tripods are good. I'm using an iPhone over behind me. Hello, Penny, I see you. And I'm on kind of a cheap little tripod thing, but boy, it keeps things steady. It does. So it's not that you need to carry a tripod with you, but there are times when a tripod is good. And they also make things called a monopod that you can more walk like a cane thing and then fasten the camera to. But it's best to have it attached. That gives you a little more flexibility. Although with tripods, if you're picking your frame and picking your height and picking your stuff, it's handy. The other thing, last thing, I swear, last thing. I always used to see people, and they would be shooting videos or shooting scenes of videos, and what would they do? And I had a tripod around here. They would take out the tripod, they'd pull out the legs as far as they go, they'd extend the upper thing as far as it would go, and that would put it at about the height of their eye. And that's what they do, because it was convenient to shoot from that height. But that, if you watch television, that is not what they do. And I would say, oh, no, please don't just shoot from the same height. Find something else. Find another, really, find the best angle regardless, and then work with it. Because, there were times I was on TV shows like Copper, and, they had a tripod, but they'd have it, extended way down, so the camera was maybe a foot off the turf. And then, of course, they have things on, huge things. Well, of course, now they use drones for some things, but they had massive crane things that have the camera on it. And there would be the operator way down there going, "Oh, yeah, I'm good here." So, life is not seen from the height of your eye. So if you're shooting something, you want it to be interesting, switch it up a bit. Which is why, when I shoot things on this picture, I suspect it's going to be taken up, looking down. I will be in the front. There'll be stuff in front of me. There might be another table here. I'll probably find a spot where I'm not really in the way of what's behind me. And I'll have I'll have some sort of hat on. And an amusing look. And who knows, maybe I'll have on some sort of Commodore shirt, although most of the ones I have don't fit me anymore. I don't know. I'll see. And if I have to move some of the machines to give me a space to be in, then I'll do that. Because this is a one-time, one-shot, take a great picture, move on, start going through, start assessing, and then start selling off, no pun intended, bits and pieces, and entire machines, as the case may be. So, stay tuned. It's coming. Soon. I gotta get going on this. Oh yes, hello Penny. I've taken a lot of time to think about it. It's now time to do. And as you can hear, Penny is summoning me. So, until we meet again, thanks so much for coming. Thanks for listening. Do you have any suggestions about this picture? I'm all ears. If criticisms, anything. Penny, where'd you go? Oh, there's Penny. Okay, enough. Stay tuned. This is also a good test for this microphone. It's hiding under my beard. I hope it has worked well. Right, Penny? Right, Penny. All right. Bye for now.